going on, YouTube world? Brad joining us. Maybe others later. We don't know. We'll see. Michael, Steve, I'm Dave, IRP 241. Fresh off the National. Lots of videos, lots of content, lots of longer play videos too. Not your usual 4 to 8 minute ones. I mean, they're in there, but I know Vintage Oddball Rick had some longer stuff. My best friend had some longer videos. I love the Thursday night thing. That makes me weep with joy on the inside and outside, seeing that. The atrium of the hotel. And just a lot of random, again, to me, I couldn't tell them from one tree in the forest to the next. It doesn't. I don't know who they are, but again, when you're looking through cases, you're looking through value boxes. I sent one to Steve earlier. The response, why the hell am I watching a Card Collector 2 video? I said, he's going through some value boxes that I think we would have marked out for. So I'm like, again.
No, and you were right. But I clicked on it and I started and I'm like, I paused because Dave sent me another one. He's like about the first few showcases. And I was like, why am I watching a CC2 video?
It's a valid question pretty much any other time of the year.
But Dave was right. He's like the value box stuff. He's like, and it was. I would say that there was some stuff that was too value focused in the way that he was presenting it. All about if I can get this for this, I think I can sell it for this. It's all about the business aspect, which is fine. We all talk about it. We need them in the hobby. Let's face it. But those, if those were the type of boxes that Dave and I consistently stumbled across in 2023, we would have been going, okay, how much cash do you have, Dave? Steve, how much? Hey, Vinny, do you got and it had nothing to do with being able to resell or anything. It's just shit you don't see. So,
yeah, when there's a Dennis Dixon and the Steve Smith from the Giants, the receiver, dual auto to the upper deck. What was it? The
UD draft.
Yep, number to 10 for $5. I'm like,
number to 10.
Again, I don't care who it is.
He does have somewhat a valid point. But
yeah, it sucks, Ken, because you're looking at all this stuff and like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, lucky. But I'm like, again, if we can't be there, at least our friends are there picking shit up that, again, we're jealous of them, swearing at Brad every time he texts me this and that. Motherfucker, what was this?
A card that I found for you, Dave, that was not purchased, and once I tell you the story, you're going to figure out why. Or why you never even got a pick of it. So a guy had a 2015 Immaculate Vincent Jackson 101 patch that spelled like Argers and Chargers. Okay?
Okay.
I'm like, it's Vincent Jackson. Max 150, right? Asking price. I'm thinking there was no price on it. So I'm like, okay, I got to ask, and then I'll contact you maybe, or I just buy it for one of the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, I was like, yeah, so what price you thinking on this? He goes, $600. I said, thanks for letting me look at it, pal. I mean, Joey even gasped because he was behind. Because we were just like, I was not expecting. I mean, 200 maybe wouldn't have surprised me as an asking. But I was thinking, under 150 for sure, right? It's $600. I said, oh, never mind. But finding something that rare and that cool of a guy like Vincent Jackson was like, oh, this is perfect Dave Archer right here. And then it completely failed.
Yeah, I don't get that. I get where you want to price your stuff. And again, you said there's no price on it. But I mean, I get where you want to be a little higher because we saw that from my best friend. I think that was one of his first day 0, day 1, whatever it was, videos. When he walks through, he's like, everything's high. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, you're the first guy that's ever made videos on YouTube. Duh. You're not going to price what you want to get out of it right away. You're going to price higher. Again, we've said it before, factoring in all the costs. But you're going to see who's out there. Who's dumb. You remember the old cartoons. The dumb person turned into a sucker and then turned back to them because there's a sucker out there that might pay that price. Or very close to it.
Collectors have a big advantage at this show is when there's no card with comps. That is where you get to use your expertise. Now, sometimes guys just put something ridiculous on a card.
Yep.
Other times it doesn't have a price, and they're like, I don't know. And sometimes they'll be like, what are you thinking? My Pacific thing I picked up of Dan Marino, he had no idea.
$1.
So, you know, I put out something fair that he's just going to accept that I still know is too low. I didn't even know a lot about the card. That's why I didn't even mess it, because I'm like, I know for $40 for those two things, I don't have to ask. Like, you know, but he's kind of more like, what are you thinking? You know, that type of thing. And then the Marino tags. I know for sure on eBay those would go for $600. No doubt about it.
Those are monsters.
Oh, yeah, at least. And the Pro Line one, Marino Collector even contacted me about it.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
I said, finally something you don't have. Take that, pal.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
The one thing that agitates me about 06 NT is all the freaking superstar power and the brand and the tag, like logo cards.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much used up all the fucking game used shit in those cards because they're like numbered to 10 and 15.
Right.
And you're like, hey, dumbasses, why don't you leave some shit for some of the other stuff?
Yeah, they didn't think long term for sure.
No.
So
Also, they just planned on keep buying and using game used as opposed to the company that bought them out and said, yeah, we're just not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, we're not.
We don't need to.
But yeah, if you're a collector with knowledge, you have an advantage to show, and you can use it at times. Now, again, the fishers, those guys can be annoying, but it's just they're so afraid to leave money on the table, so they'll put 500 when it's really 100, and you just have to, and then you have to almost feel the guy out. Do you actually think it's worth around 500, or are you just fishing? You know, so that's when you actually have to talk with the dealer. But yeah.
Well, Dave ended up sharing. Was that the one from yesterday, Dave, that you shared? That it took a while to get to? Was all the freaking 90s shit from like playoff and
the Pacific and the playoff.
Holy fucking shit, man! Case after case after case after case, all graded, all notated with pop counts. Which, you know, okay, I get sick and tired of hearing about pop counts, but like, if I'm honest, and you know, I'm a dick like that, as everybody knows. Walking up to that table and being like, yeah, you know why that's a pop one is because there's probably only 10 graded across the entire product line. Like, really? Do you really need to point that out? No shit, it's a pop one or a pop 3. Again, there's like 30 cards graded from 97. It's
the in-person eBay 101 tag.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's what it is.
Yep.
100%. And again, like for Pacific and some of the later 90s playoff stuff, condition sensitive, like
big time.
Major.
Chipping galore.
So PSA 10s, yeah, you're going to have pop 1s, pop 2s, pop 3s on a lot of that shit.
And you can ask a Monster Premium.
Oh, and they were.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, they're huge. I mean, and that's
5,000. Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is, again, foreshadowing for future episodes. So all the people that pillage us for the the content and the topics, go ahead. But you said it perfectly because again, I saw the absolute quad, the gold star. One of them, I don't remember who,
I don't
but it's a
remember
top
either.
2, none higher. This isn't a fucking Wemby Prism base card. This isn't a Zion base card. This isn't a John Morant, a Luka, any of that stuff. Where again, when you're sitting there and talking about stuff that's graded, I don't need 100,000 copies, but I don't need 7 of a whole run of grades.
Correct.
It's like it's already rare. So you're telling me it's rare without telling me or over explaining that it's rare. Okay, again, I get it, but that doesn't mean it's from a $150 card maybe on the secondary market to now like $22.75. I'm like,
yeah, in
what?
a seven or some shit.
Oh, you guys got the good stuff there.
Well, and
that haze over your table. I mean, there's like bongs. And, wow.
The crazy thing was, and this is honestly what blew my mind. Yes, there were a few TDs, but all the TDs that they had, I already have raw copies. So it's not like I'm sitting there going, "Oh, damn! I wish Brad would have found this table." Not to mention I wouldn't have paid the price because everybody knows I'm a cheap ass. But they had all the big name guys. Every freaking insert set that you could possibly fathom, from like 96 to 99. Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, Troy Aikman, Dan Marino, like all the stars.
I mean, it was because they had some of them 95, like the career best. But then they had some of the 97, the Dynagon careers, which have like 3 different colors. And one's like I think to 10. I don't know if it's the pink or the blue. But I'm like, God damn. And there's a lot of them. So it's like, okay, this isn't a Johnny come lately that stumbled. This is somebody that's probably been holding this shit for years.
Yep, stacking.
And I go back to my
is that stuff. Like that's all his whole table is.
Who was that?
The guys you're talking about. That's all his whole table is.
Oh, it has to be.
Is yeah, and he does have like 3 different grades of a card. You probably
saw.
So you don't have, obviously the one on top is going to be the 150 PSA 10 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But the ones under, that's the ones where you get your PSA 8 and walk out of there with $30,
Yeah, call it a day.
Right.
Because
have you ever seen a video of that table? I failed.
No, he did.
Yeah, I looked at that table for like 15 minutes.
But somebody recorded it, so like we got a chance to see that entire freaking grouping of tables.
And I even thought, I was like, oh, this is their sanctuary, right?
And I was fucking drooling. Like I could sit here and I don't give a damn. I was literally drooling to see the 97 Pacific Kramer's Choice and like in PSA 10. I'm sitting there going, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, that's
impossible.
Yeah, that's unfucking heard of, man. Yeah. Like that is just pure nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
of course, and it's not peon player. Like I don't even remember who it was, but it was either Dan Marino or freaking Emmett Smith, somebody. And they were like PSA 10, PSA 10, PSA 10. Now you're just going, damn.
Because again, I'd buy the Terrell Davis for whatever, $30-$40. I'd buy the Marino for $50-$60. Not saying those cards don't have like insane value, because again, people don't know coming out of a pack back then. Again, you see a box that's dinged up. You see, again, those cards jostle around. Just because you got that bottom part, that doesn't mean that top part sneaks up a little. You saw some of them had that crimp mark too coming out.
Yep.
So I mean, the pricing is absurd. But I can appreciate the condition of the card because knowing how the cards were packed back then.
Yep.
Again, I know carefully, but it wasn't like, oh, here's a baby. No, it's fucking whatever. They're packing them through. So again, there's There's one, and I don't remember what year, but it's like I have never seen that card in my life. It was like some gold foil career one. It was like a 96, I think. It was like Marino, Jerry, Emmett, Barry. I don't think Falk yet, because again, why would you put a Falk career?
I think I know which ones you're talking about.
And I don't know what it was out of, but I'm like, I have never seen those. And then they started showing like the absolute like 96, like a reflex, and then there was what the hell were they? The horizontal card. It was like Marino was in one. I want to say Emmett, and I know they're like 1 in 7,500. And I'm like, I've seen like one or two, and I just
I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know if it's honors career, another careers type thing, or something. But it was just like, I don't know how many audible groans I had during that video, but I was just like,
well, that's what I'm getting at. It was like it didn't stop.
And again, to people they're like, oh, it's foil, it's die cut, who cares? It's not a prism or fucking auto. I'm like, you have zero clue on how impossible that shit was to actually fucking pull from a pack. You could have the Pacific drop in whenever it was. Let's say June, July, right after the draft. Maybe August. You could have it from that to the next time Pacific came out. Multiple runs of cases, boxes, whatever the configuration is. And you wouldn't see one of those pulled. I mean, you wouldn't even see it in a showcase anywhere. That's the thing where, oh man, there's a platinum medallion Jordan. There's a Jordan auto jersey to 23. Again, no sliding those cards because those are fucking.
Huge.
I'd love to have 2 or 6 or 20. But you see a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
That's what people want to bring to the National. They want to bring to shows. They want to show on Instagram or wherever. You don't see those Pacific, that playoff stuff. I'm just like, Spectre Illusion, Dominion, Elite, the die cut, the Super Bowl die cut. I'm like, you don't know how hard these are to find of just, again, a Wayne Crabette or somebody, let alone
the main guys. Yeah, the main guys.
Like, good Lord, this guy had to buy mid-2000s when we're all looking at games. So,
Yeah, and the story I heard about Emmitt Smith at their get-together, which we weren't able to make it to, but you'll love him even more after you hear the stories of that. Because he like yelled at the Fanatics guy talking about, because there was a Fanatics guy there as well. And he was like, getting tired of all the fake shit that's out there, and you guys need to do better about authenticating the memorabilia and all this stuff. I was like, you're going to love this guy at the end if you didn't like Emmitt Smith before. You didn't tell me this story. It was awesome.
Well, maybe you can convince one of them to actually pop on the show and actually share it at some point.
Yeah.
Hint, 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 hint. Rick, Orlando. Unless you don't want your reputation to be tarnished, that is.
We aren't vintage guys, so we're vintage guys.
The funnest thing of the show is getting John Mangini going about how much he hates Mike Tomlin. That was my funnest probably conversation of the show. I mean, he ran it for a good 20 minutes at the bar the one night. Hilarious. I just kept saying stuff to get him going. And then Joey would be like, yeah, there's no reason you should have lost that Super Bowl to the Packers. We just kept him going. Hilarious.
All right. So Dave, I'm sure you've got questions for both these fine gentlemen. Actually, I need to go ahead and do this. Let's pull Brad here. Let's pull Ed up here. Ooh. Since they are the guests of honor.
Even though
I just hope there's no fisticuffs between them, because Portillo's hot dogs versus Costco hot dogs is going to be and the hashtag Ed lied.
I told him I was going to do it too.
I encouraged it. I told him #Ed lied.
And that's why I said the chicken sandwich was fucking killer there.
That's what was funny is everyone enjoyed everything else they had. I just happened to get the thing that sucked. So it was a big story, and that's what everyone remembered. So everyone I ate lunch with got a big kick out of me ranting about the hot dogs. I guess it's a story, you know.
Well, isn't that what it's all about? Is the stories?
That's right.
Yeah. I still enjoy Ed saying you got to get the Italian beef. And then I said, I'm going to get the chicken sandwich. And I had fries too. And I finished it. He's like, oh, you're bringing some stuff with you? And I'm like, in my stomach. He's like, you finished it? And I'm like, does this carriage look like it leaves food behind? What the fuck?
Yeah, you crushed it when we went there.
And then went up for more. Wilfred Brimley was whispering in my ear. Diabetes. I said, oh yeah, Wilfred, you got it. Get that Jumbo Coke, okay.
Mark the one day took me to the place across the street from Portillo's, Bonia, Chicago's Italian beef. That was fucking good. Like that was worth the trip.
Is that
that's one Vinny I think had said too that we had to go to back then. But again, it's just
because I was trying to think. It was between Bona Beef and the place we ended up at for the other random place we ate, which was another Italian beef place. But the fucked up thing is, none of us got Italian beef. We all got chicken sandwiches. Go figure.
I mean, that's on brand.
Every single one of us. And that, like, no bullshit.
Then Mark
Joe
was telling me they'll dunk the whole sandwich. It's called fully baptized, and they'll dump the whole sandwich in gravy for you. I didn't get it that way, but I probably should have because the gravy that they put on there was stellar. It was good.
yeah, anything drenched in gravy, that's gonna be. So what'd you guys see on the floor that surprised you? Good, bad, indifferent. I mean, just like something that stuck out like a sore thumb. Again, good, bad, indifferent. I'll let you go first, Brad.
The good, I think I texted this to you. There is more cards from 98 to 2015 than ever at a national that I've been to. And that goes for baseball, basketball, football. So that really stood out. I mean, almost every table, especially the table off to the right or the room off to the right, had something of that stuff. Like insane. Normally I go to a table, have to skip 5 till I see something I really enjoy. This was like we couldn't skip one in that area. Like it was worth looking at, even if it wasn't for your collection. It was just worth looking at, you know. The other thing is the increase of wrestling cards. Not just RBI Crew had wrestling cards. There was a big increase in wrestling cards, I noticed. And they moving. So, and then my third observation is I've never seen more Ben Roethlisberger cards. Usually very rare and hard to find. They were all out. And I don't really know why, because this isn't like he just made the Hall of Fame or something. He's still a couple years off. But more Ben Roethlisberger than I've ever seen before in my life. So those were a couple things that I noticed.
I noticed that in one of the videos you sent too, Dave, that like
the SPU gold. I saw that and I'm like, oh my God. The rookie year, the patch auto. I'm like,
but back on the wrestling point while I'm thinking of it, Ryan specifically gave his guys instructions not to take more than 5% off any wrestling card after the first day and a half. He says, we're moving stuff so fast. He says, we just can't do it. He's like, so don't take anything off. He couldn't even give like Dave midlife card credit. Usually he'll hook that up a little bit.
They were killing it.
Yeah, he's like, we just can't do it. He's like, Ryan gave us specific instruction not to take more than 5% off any sticker.
They were printing.
They already priced it near comp, so it's not,
yeah,
big deal. They're not like some over there. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you that to give you an idea how it's moving.
So Ed, same question is
yeah, definitely a lot of wrestling, mostly focused on the women's side of things, like I saw a shit ton of Rhea Ripley, like tons of Rhea Ripley, a lot of Charlotte Flair, a lot of Liv Morgan, tons of Hogan's as to be expected. Hogan autographs all over the goddamn place, and a lot for insane prices. Again, as to be expected. There was pretty much everything you can think of was there. I saw pickleball. I saw tennis. Hockey was there, believe it or not. There was hockey was definitely on the low totem pole, like sports wise, but there was some hockey dealers there. They do exist. Obviously, tons of baseball. That was the king.
We
Good
saw
amount.
we saw a lacrosse card.
Good amount of football. As Brad said, there was some really good, like 2005 to like 2015 football cards. Like a lot of really good stuff. The first day I got there, I was like, the first like 10 or 15 tables I went to, I was like, if it's like this for the rest of the show, I'm going to have a serious problem because I'm going to spend all my money on the first day. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to have like no money on Thursday. So like I got to like pace myself out on what I'm purchasing. So basically I kind of like, for me, just speaking personally, like I really went slow in what I was buying because I'm like, well, if I come back to it and it's not there, it's not meant to be. And that'll make my decision easier. But there was a lot of WNBA. I was kind of impressed with that. Good amount of it. Most of it was priced okay. But Caitlin Clark stuff was obviously priced fucking insanity levels, especially the autographs. I would say the predominant was vintage 50s and 60s. Like I felt like every table had vintage from the 50s and 60s, like pretty present. That was the most popular thing at the show, I would say. Card wise, showcase wise. Decent amount of pre-war. Let's see what else. There were soccer cards. There was a couple soccer dealers there. High-end shit. Soccer Dynasty. A lot of Messi, Ronaldo, some Manchester United and Man City cards.
So I got a quick question though, Ed. So Caitlin Clark autos by insanely priced. Like
I didn't find one under 1,200.
Okay.
Didn't find one under 1,200.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at, because like in random searches and stuff, because I have some of the parallels from Prism, it inadvertently pulls in autographs and stuff along those lines too in some of those searches. That's the only reason why I was asking, because if you were going to say like $3,000, I'm going like, yeah, that's a little asinine. But
so
there was a good amount of basketball.
Yep.
Not a lot of ultra modern basketball though. I mean, sure, you had your Wemby's there and your Lucas there, but there was not too much ultra modern basketball. Most of the basketball I saw was like the early 2000s, a lot of like LeBron, obviously very Jordan heavy, very Bulls heavy, Pippen, as Brad got some no tipping Pippen. There was actually a good amount of vintage basketball there. A lot of Kareems, I saw a lot of really awesome Will Chamberlains, the GOAT, 20,000 women, if you know, you know. So there was a lot of there was a lot of great stuff. I know Scotty picked up the Jerry West. So there was something for everyone there. And this whole thing about Pokemon, I mentioned it in like a video I'm planning on doing, like on some of my thoughts and stuff, but this whole like narrative about, oh, it's going to be half Pokemon, it's going to be all TCG. I would say it was about 10% Pokemon and TCG.
And that's maybe.
And that's like a very liberal
Yes.
that's like a very liberal assertion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more conservative, it was probably like 5%.
Yeah, I would say that.
So,
And like people asked about wrestling, if there was vintage or modern, mainly modern. There was only one vintage set I kept seeing from the 80s.
Yep.
Don't ask me which one. I'm sure you wrestling guys will know.
It's like the '83 where the yellow border where it's Hogan,
Okay. Yeah.
Flair, Piper, all them guys are in it.
So, but yeah, otherwise, I didn't see a lot of vintage wrestling. Hockey, you have about 5 hockey dealers. Okay, and that means you can find your Young Guns, your SP Authentic Future watches, your RPA cups, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, there actually a lot of tables have a hockey case, but here's all you're going to find in it: Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby,
McDavid.
Ovechkin, McDavid. You know, that's all you're going to find, and
And
it's all high-end stuff.
Yeah.
So
Like a Gordon,
collect those guys in that world. There's actually plenty there for you. But if you want to collect, just a good normal Joe Sakic, you're going to find one in a case. You will have to value box dive to find that stuff.
Also, a lot of vintage football. I did see a lot of vintage football, which was cool
more
to
than
say.
usual. So, yes.
A lot of concrete Charlies I was finding. People were sending me messages on.
And the other thing is, like with the vintage, from what I heard from everyone else and what I could tell, if you stayed away from the top 10 names, you actually got okay deals. But if you were searching for the top 10 names, it sounds like it was 30% over comps.
I would agree with that.
Pretty consensus thing. But as long as you were staying away from the top 10 vintage names, there was actually deals to be had from what I heard.
I would agree with that. Then
National Insight, only place you're going to get it.
Yeah, the real stuff. Well, I don't know about Ed. He lies, but
only about food. Only about food, Brett.
There was a shit ton of non-sports too. And when I say non-sports, that's like a general term, but there was a lot of autos from like Star Wars, Game of Thrones. RBI Crew had a lot of like Leaf non-sports.
President type stuff. History.
Yeah, presidential, historical, World War II. I saw some really cool World War II stuff, autographs. A lot of vintage non-sports. Had a lot of interesting conversations with some of those dealers. Because like I've been a non-sports guy for quite a while. And non-sports collectors, a lot of that stuff's not graded. So when I always laugh when I go up to a dealer and they have like a lot of vintage non-sports and they have like low pop or pop 1, pop 2. I'm like, the people collecting those cards don't do grading. So like you just got to submit the stuff. And I'm sure there's some issues that are rare, of course, or hard to come across, but for decades and decades and decades and generations, you had non-sports collectors not getting that stuff graded. The grading thing has only for non-sports has only amplified within the last couple years. And it kind of makes me a little irritated when I go up and I say, well, okay, these cards were like $30 to $40 raw. Like you can get them at the Philly non-sports card show or online. And now because it's in a little piece of plastic, you're going to charge like $4,000 or $5,000. Why? It's like fucking dumb. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that dance.
Any tennis?
Yeah. There was some royalty I saw.
Federer.
Tennis, but I didn't see a lot of the older stuff.
The Williams sisters.
I was referring more to probably the really expensive set that released whenever it did.
Yeah.
Like I know Ryan had some tennis.
Yeah, that royalty, I think, was the expensive, that white background. Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, I didn't see a lot of that.
Yeah, and again, more just curious because like I could see people trying to take advantage of like moving the Williams sisters rookies and Federer rookies and Nadal rookies, joke like that type of stuff though too.
But I just want to tell anyone that goes to this show, if you are in the space of $25 to $100, the showcases are not for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
You actually are wasting your time.
Yeah, you've been priced out.
You go straight for the boxes. If you know dealers, go straight for them. And this is my other tip. You have to go Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
There is no more waiting till Saturday. Like if you can do either or, I would tell you to go Wednesday, Thursday instead of Saturday, Sunday. Because I'm telling you, these cases, like Omaha cards, I thought had the best.
No.
Did he?
He froze.
He froze up.
Okay,
Oh, he's back.
All right, he's back.
He
I
back.
thought it was just me.
I was like, oh no, we're getting the circle of death.
Okay.
So, yeah, go Wednesday, Thursday. I will harp on that. Anybody ask which days to go Wednesday, Thursday if you can only go 2 days. Because I'm telling you, those cases look far different Wednesday, Thursday than they did Friday, Saturday. Okay?
Most dealers got cleaned out.
Yes.
A
And
lot
here's
of
the
them
other
got
thing
cleaned out.
Okay.
Here's the other thing I noticed. Go
Okay,
ahead.
hold on 1 second. Quick question as it pertains to that. So you say Wednesday, Thursday is the best time. Ed includes the fact that a lot of dealers got cleaned out. Did they bring out higher price shit Saturday, Sunday?
So here's the deal. No. Actually, what happened was here's the deal. If they rebought to refill their cases, the prices were higher. So a lot of the dealers that were very reasonable Wednesday, Thursday, me and Joey and stuff would go back because we like their stuff. We noticed it would be priced higher than comps or because they had to buy at a higher level to fill up that showcase. You see what I'm saying? So the whole, we're going to get better deals Saturday, Sunday, not for decent stuff. You're not. Now for your dollar box, if you want to clear a guy out of a dollar box, sure. Sunday you can get a great deal. But you aren't getting a great deal on a Merino patch auto on Sunday. They probably just rebought it. And the other thing is like, so my tip about if you collect 25 to like $100 cards, skip the showcases, go straight for the boxes, and then look at the showcases later. And then vice versa, if you're looking for more of the rare stuff, look at the showcases first, value boxes later. So that would be my tip, depending on how you collect. Because and then as Steve was asking, a lot of times the cheaper stuff would end up in the showcase Saturday. So that's actually when you can find the Tony Gonzalez patch for 25 for $20. The Alex Smith dual patch for $20. Stuff like that. That's when you would find it in showcases when they had nothing else to put out.
I mean, if you were a dealer set up at this show and you didn't bring extra ammunition in the truck, you were screwed because you got cleaned out and you had nothing left to put out, which is why almost every single dealer table I walked up to were very aggressively buying.
Right.
They were really, every table I walked up to, are you selling? Are you selling? What do you got? Because they needed the ammunition. They were getting overrun. Like these guys were printing money.
Yeah, if you were priced fairly, your showcase was half empty.
So then
that's how you know who was priced fairly and who wasn't based on when you walked by Friday, Saturday.
So then the question becomes, is it collectors or is it the repackers that were clearing out the majority of these?
The repackers will buy the case hits. That's what they were buying. The repackers are not buying the Merino tags, the 90s inserts. They're not buying that stuff. They're buying the case hit stuff.
Kabooms, Boom Blast, all that.
And PSA 10s of just random modern stuff.
Okay.
That is what the repackers are buying.
And it was more just from a curiosity.
Yeah, like they aren't buying a Mike Schmidt patch auto out of Sterling. They're not doing that.
That's something that, like, our grouping would have done for mystery packs back in the day.
Right.
And there
Like,
was
what we would have bought is the stuff they don't touch. So it's good for us.
Yeah.
Because that isn't getting cleared out Tuesday or right away Wednesday. But if you are into that stuff, you're kind of getting screwed over because it's probably already been moved once, even if it is in a showcase on Tuesday.
oh, I see Kins here. There was NASCAR there as well, and Formula One and IndyCar.
I was gonna say I saw like some case with, I don't know if it was like Dynasty.
I'm gonna say
Some
that's
dude,
for F1. Yeah.
some dude had just a fucking killer case of F1 with like Verstappen. I
Lewis
can't.
Hamilton,
Yeah, Hamilton was in there. There's like Oscars.
George Russell.
It
And there was
was
golf too.
there
I
was
saw some
a
Roy McIlroy and
insane Schumacher like Ferrari or Ferrari logo like booklet thing. And I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. But yeah, that's somebody, and again, I think if I remember right, there was a guy I stumbled across, and he would go through every like showcase, show the logo, show the business card, whoever it was. It was like Alaska Sports Cards or something like that.
Very good guy, by the way. You need that.
And I'm like, okay, you sort of look like my brother-ish. Okay, I'll buy into this. And then after I looked at it, because he, in one of those videos he had, went through like all the Formula One stuff that the one dude had. Oh, good Lord. Oh, it was an autograph, I think, on like a glove on from the racing, and I'm like, on Schumacher. But I'm like, that's a huge card. And again, that's just maybe over in Europe a lot more. But you start getting like the Ferrari and the Lamborghini like logos on that shit, and it's like, wow, that's that's your first taste of NFL logos, basically. Like, this is great. So yeah, that there seems to be. I think the only thing I didn't see so far through all the videos I've watched has been like a Magic the Gathering. That hasn't was the only stuff I really didn't see. I saw Pokemon. I saw.
I did see a little bit of that. Very,
Okay.
very little, like maybe like 2%.
I wouldn't have noticed the difference, so I couldn't help you out. Like, I just know it wasn't sport. I wouldn't know.
There was some Magic with one of the dealers that had like a good amount of One Piece. That was kind of a random combo. And then he had a case full of Manals, which I thought was hilarious.
I guess diversify the portfolio.
Yeah.
That's another thing to look for, though, is you go across a vintage case. Don't just assume it is all vintage. Still take the glance. Because remember, they buy in bulk typically.
Brad, was it me? But like, there was about like maybe like 15 to 20 vintage dealers that had, let's say on average, they had like 5 showcases. They would have 4 showcases filled with vintage, you know, the usual names, of course, the money makers.
Yeah.
And then they would have 1 showcase full of Pokemon. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there was always like
There was vintage dealers like that had Pokemon. And when I say they had Pokemon, it was like the high-end Pokemon, like not your like affordable Pokemon.
And
I
on
mean,
some of them, I noticed like a random young kid was sitting there, though. Like when I say young, like in their 20s, with the vintage deal. I don't know if you noticed that, but some of those tables, I noticed it was like the younger kid that was set up. Yeah, but you're right.
It's interesting. It's worth noting, pointing out.
Yes. But yeah, don't just assume everything's all modern or vice versa. Because a lot of times those tables are where you get your deals. Because they don't want the Merino auto in their Willie Mays case. They price it to move. You know. So don't just skip over them is what I'm telling you, basically.
Do we want to get into the upstairs?
Oh, gosh.
I'll say one thing before you guys riff on that.
All right.
There was some older guy,
I
don't remember who it was, and like what video. I don't think it was a card collector too. It might have been my good friend Mojo. Huge media nerd. that I don't know if you watched that guy that had like a Maine Black Bears hoodie on, like a Buffalo Bills hat, and he had like almost you'd think it'd be his like grandson there. That you actually, it's not a bad thought process for some of these older vintage centric dealers to have that conduit to like, you can use the apps quicker than I'll ever be able to fucking figure it out, and the newer stuff obviously a lot better than I can tell you with this whatever like Redback or whatever. Yeah, you can join Stope. You've got
Let him in. Let him in.
He's got the link in the group chat. Go back to the group chat and you can find it there, Mark. But yeah, it's like it's smart to have that. Again, you start looking like, well, this guy's like 78 and that guy's like 17, but I'm like, it makes sense from the business aspect where you don't want to have two 78-year-olds trying to figure out how to use like whatever app you're looking at the 130 point. Like, I don't know.
Before Mark jumps in and the vibes go through the roof, can we just fucking rant on the upstairs real quick?
Yeah, this is really the only main problem with this show.
Yeah, the only like major problem with the show was the upstairs. Whoever laid the floor pan from the upstairs needs a swift kick in the fucking ass, because that was an absolute clusterfuck shit show of epic proportions if I ever seen one. There was so much space up there. There was tons of fucking space up there. And they put 75 tables in this crammed ass bottlenecked area. You could not fit two people shoulder to shoulder down these fucking aisles. And then to make it work, like, okay, you fucked up on Wednesday. It clearly is not working. Move the tables back 10 feet each side. Move the shit back. Do you think they did that? No, they didn't do that. It was a disgrace. It was so fucking bad. I was up there for 20 minutes, 15. I was stuck in an aisle with Dr. Beckett trying to walk the other way, and I'm walking one way. He looked like someone kicked his puppy down the street. He wanted to get the hell out of there. It was garbage. It was bad. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who laid the floor plan for that, but it was an embarrassment. Also, very ironical. 75 tables up there, maybe 3 of them were Pokemon, and I would say about 60 of them were vintage. So all this happy horse shit all over social media about it's 75 TCG tables, it's 75 TCG tables. Half the shit was vintage up there. And that's all I got to say about that. That they better fix that shit, because I went up there. Like I said, I went up there on Thursday. People warned me people in my Airbnb went up there on Wednesday. They said, don't go up there. I said, it can't be that bad, can it? It really can't not be that bad. Because I go up there Thursday and I'm like, fucking.
The 2 outside ones, you could still at least fit 2 people with backpacks, you know? But the 2 inside aisles, it was literally, there was no middle. You know, so usually you look at a showcase and have a middle. There was no middle at all. And there was actually quality stuff up there too.
There was. That was the frustrating part.
That's why
there's good shit up there.
But yeah, I was like you. I went, I bought something on Wednesday to check it out. I was like, oh, let's go check this out. And then I went back Thursday morning before they let the GA in just to check back on a table where he said he's going to have Jason Taylor stuff. And even before the GA came in, I said no. And I never went back up there again. I was like, I'm done.
No. I never went back up either. Why would you have 3 rows, 75 tables, and make it to where 2 people can't walk down the aisle shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah.
Like, who thought that was a good idea?
And what do the average collectors look like? We're not like 5'8", 120. I'm sorry.
Because the thing I was worried about, because especially early in the show, most people are wearing backpacks, some kind of bags. Everyone's going to be hitting your backpack. You are not going to have any idea if someone's getting in there, because everyone's hitting it anyways. I was like, this is like theft. Yeah, theft paradise for a thief. Because I would have no idea you were doing it. You know, because I wouldn't think anything of it. I'd be like, oh, another guy's hitting me. You know, so
It's like the only time you notice it, be like somebody's tugging on the fucking.
right.
And there was so much room up there that was not
that's what
being
was
used.
frustrating. Right.
That was not being used. It was like vacant space.
Yep.
Full blown stupidity and incompetent. So such incompetent. I don't fucking understand it.
That's what I think Rick Oddball had in one of his videos. Like, how great would that be to put like the corporate and all the breakers up there next year? And I'm like, that would be wonderful.
The corporate would never go for it, but
I
the breakers would make sense, or the autograph pavilion would make sense.
The circus, you put that up there. That's good.
I don't think they'll ever put the breakers up there because they need access to they need access to PSA. They need access to get their wax, because you go anywhere near that breaking area, you see fucking wagons rolling around overfilled with wax and a whole bunch of supplies and a whole bunch of shit moving around. That's why I'll get into it later, but that was like, there was so many people there that were kind of rude. Like, not like, I'm just talking like overall attendance, where like they would like block the flow of traffic or sit on their luggage case and not move, even when you would say nicely, hey, excuse me. And there was room to move. It's not like they were like blocked in or boxed in, but they just, like, a lot of people would not, if you said excuse me to them, they would not move. Which is why
you move.
Which is why that lady, everyone was giving that one worker lady a hard time that was screaming, coming through, boo, boo, boo. I'm like, she's doing that because you motherfuckers won't move.
Yeah.
Like, and
I didn't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone was bitching about her. I'm like, dude, she's trying to move a big cart around and people aren't moving. So,
yep.
Get the fuck out of the way, you stupid fuckers. Move. Play Luda over the loudspeaker.
And honestly, Ken, like, this group is way better than the other ones in terms of how they run the show. It's just we are too big for the places they have it at now.
Yeah, the convention center is too small now.
Yeah,
they outgrow it.
They aren't experts, you know. So traffic control and all this. Again, I thought it was better this year. I actually thought, you know how usually the Chicago aisles are very small? In most of the places, I thought it was fine, especially downstairs. So outside of upstairs, that was better than it had been in previous years, I thought.
I thought the staff
spots. You know.
I thought the staff did a great job. I thought the police did a great job. They really had the ride share, drop off and pick up, like, really goodly situated. They did a really good job under the conditions that they were in, because I think the convention center is way too small to hold the event now. You got probably 110,000 people there. Attendance was definitely up from Cleveland. So, I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just putting a strain on the facility. I will say they got insanely lucky last week, that the weather was what the weather was.
Yep.
Low 70s, very cool outside, so no strain on the air conditioner. I really, truly believe that if it was like fucking a typical Chicago summer where it was like 95 or 98, hot as balls out, that air conditioner would have been running faulty.
I've been cracking up seeing all the people saying how great the air conditioner was. It's like, dude,
like, it's 70 degrees out.
This is the coldest it's been here in like 2 months. It was great though. It felt great.
Yeah, it worked, but it wasn't tested.
Right. This show, I've been to every national in Chicago since 2017, and this was the most smoothly run one that I've been to. It's not without problems, but the upstairs is worse than drinking a bottle of Malort. It was so bad. I went up there, and my friend, he's like, hey, let's because I said I'm morbidly curious. Let's go up there. And I looked and I said, nope, back downstairs. And my buddy's like, we got to walk through all the aisles. So I walked through 2 aisles and I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm out of here. Like, I can't do this. It was so bad.
Was that the guy was that your friend that we went to lunch with?
Yes. It was
yeah.
his friend. Yeah. Mutual friend. of his.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I did warn you not to go up.
I know. But that's why I just wanted to go see it. And then my friend is like, we got to go through there.
Oh, fuck that.
Which I appreciate, I appreciate having friends like that. Like,
but
he's like, we got to see all the cards. I was like,
we don't.
Oh, you're going to see them.
It was so bad.
So Ed, question. So for those who recall, so Dave and my experience in Chicago was in 23. And of course we were hoping to go this year. In 23, the rideshare pickup and drop off was a cluster fuck and a half.
Yes.
So based on what you said, what did they do different though this year to where it wasn't what it was in 23?
They had a lot of manpower.
Yeah.
They were out in full force.
I saw an Uber drive over a case of cards. I heard a loud snap sound,
Oh my God.
and I was like, "Oh no!" And I looked, and I just saw cards everywhere. Like, holy crap!
Well, there goes $1,000.
And probably more. I don't know. I saw slabs everywhere, and like, it was really hard not to laugh. I was just like, please be repackers. Please be repackers. Like, they weren't your like everyday collectors, put it that way. It was like a group of guys. And I mean, I don't know. I found it morbidly funny, but I wasn't going to like laugh out loud. I was just like, oh my God.
Oh, come on, Mark. Yeah,
I laughed a little bit.
There was
I
one
did.
other problem with the show that I need to tell people. The top silver redemption packs, if it needed to, but mainly tops, they were the ones running it. You need to start giving the packs back to like Steel City, Blowout. So when they buy a case from you or boxes, you can just hand them the packs there. Because they are not running a system that is capable of handling what they're doing.
Yeah, Big Scott was telling me
They'll only hand them out for a few hours out of the day. Then they'll say they ran out.
And come back with your case.
Run out. Yeah, stop it. You didn't run out. So they need to, and just, make it explicit that you're not allowed to sell these packs to these, that they can't sell the packs, only give them out to customers. Because that's what they used to do. Mm-hmm. They need to go back to that because they just do not run a smooth enough system for that silverback program.
Well, and didn't I want to say I heard something somewhere that in years past, like you could go buy a box of Topps Heritage or whatever, which is probably like the cheapest product, and still get your silver packs. They'd like revamp the program to where there's a minimum price point that you have to buy into in order to get any silver packs. Is that accurate?
No, it still has a list. There is still a list of products.
But like the cheapest was like base tops, and base tops was selling for stupid.
Yeah. Everything's just expensive. Yes. The days of wax at the National is cheaper.
Understood. I mean, and I get that. So,
because that was the one advantage of going on Sundays, was for the wax. That's why you went on Sundays. The show itself on Sunday, why it's less busy, everything's been picked over by that point. The whole point was, the wax dealers, they can't go home with this stuff. That doesn't even exist anymore. You might get $5 off blasters. It's horrible.
Yeah,
how many?
Which is sad when you think about it.
First, for Mark, I would have been like Nelson Muntz on The Simpsons, and I pointed out and said, But how did you guys see? A lot of folks, and I've seen a couple of videos where Blowout had like a big a big box of like all these blasters for like $250. I don't even know what the fuck they called it, like Mega something, Mega Mix or. How much of that shit did you see being purchased? Because again, I've seen a few of these videos of people that are not in my hemisphere of watching, but the one guy bought like 10 of them, and I'm like, wow, $2,500 for that. You can't find anything like a single that you want to get. Again, I get where if you got a
I don't think they ran out of those. Put it that way. Now, Still City ran out of their Gold Rush stuff.
Okay.
But I don't think Blowout ran out of their Mega Mix stuff. And for what people don't know, it's like random boxes in this box. And of course, there's a Chase box you can get, like an T box or something, and you pay $250. But usually you're just getting blasters and crappy boxes.
This was me at the show.
Trying to find Joey Votto?
Yeah.
Among others. That show was just sensory overload. I'm like, oh, it's Giannis talking to a group of people. I'm going to walk right by.
You just said, hello, Giannis.
Did any of y'all see Brady?
No.
I did not.
Talking about those blasters, though, really quick, I just had a business idea. A repack product.
Don't share it here, Mark. Somebody's going to take it. Like, just
Okay.
Yeah, IRP has known lurkers, so.
Yeah. People steal shit from this show all the time and refuse to give
The
credit.
thing is, though, like, I'm not going to do it. And if someone else did it, I would laugh. It's called.
Let us know in the after hours and maybe like Dave.
Can I just tell you? Can I just tell you the name of the product?
Go ahead.
No.
It doesn't say anything about what's in the product, though.
But people would steal it. I don't think you understand.
I don't think anyone would have the balls to do ass blasters.
With Z?
I don't know.
I don't know. You go through the breaker area? I think that might be a possibility.
Yeah, that may already be taken.
I'll have to double check that.
Oh, but where they put the breakers this year was kind of in its own room corner.
That was
not notice them unless you literally walked all the way over them. You didn't like hear them from another room. You know what I mean? So
Unlike 2 years ago, and there's like you can hear the hooting and hollering. Like,
yeah, it was not that bad. So I think where they put them was a decent spot.
Okay. Yeah, because
I think it was
one of the things I was going to ask because a bad placement in 23.
Yeah, it's not directly in the middle anymore. It's in its like home corner.
I think I forget who it was. Maybe Filmington in his recap video. He touched upon that, and he's like, he said something that rang very true to me, but I didn't think about. He was like, there was more breakers than ever there, but everyone has just accepted them as part of the hobby, even if they hate them, that they're just there, and you just like tune them out. And that's exactly how I felt. I just saw all of them and just like walked right by. But they like Brad was saying, they were more out of the way. They're like kind of in their own area, which was nice.
It's only a small fraction of the show.
But like they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. But like whoever it was who mentioned, why not put the breakers upstairs?
Yeah, Rick had that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, just completely or better yet, if the space is as big as what y'all said, like they only used a small percentage of the space for upstairs, why not put the breakers and the corporate shit upstairs and let the freaking main floor be
the
like
corporate stuff will never go upstairs though.
Yeah,
they want to be
foot traffic. That's why they put it where they put it.
I actually don't mind the corporate stuff because it's all soft on your feet. You know what I mean? And it's a place to like pull over.
Yeah. But here's the question. So like I get the reasoning for foot traffic. But if the space, if it allows them to spread it out even more, they may actually get more foot traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a whatnot. Put a whatnot up there because
by the way,
dude, whatnot? Oh my god!
Like I said, I think the breakers or the autograph pavilion should be upstairs. That's my idea, and I don't see why that couldn't happen.
Dude,
one of the two.
Whatnot was like have you ever been in a Vegas sports book?
I saw that board they had.
Dude, it was like, again, though, I'm like, oh, weird. Just keep walking this way. But they had like.
But they did that in 23, though.
Did they really?
Yeah. They had the board.
It had to have been bigger this time because it was like, holy crap. Because they were everywhere in 23, but it was like kind of spread out. This was like a whole corner of the show.
That shit'll give you a headache being over there.
I know.
Oh, 100%.
But a lot of them do a good job for the kids. And that's what kind of the scary part is.
Right.
You know, because they'll have Papa Shot. They'll have wheel spins.
Right.
It's like a
You know,
carnival.
they'll have that type of stuff that's kind of like you would see at Fanatics Fest or something, you know. And it's like, but that's also the scary part is you're getting them into gambling young, you know.
Right. Well, I think you bring up a good point, you know, if the autograph pavilion, for instance, because I'm assuming it was probably in the same spot as it was in 23.
Correct.
It's a lot of dead space over there. So when you think about it, they run it fairly well, but there's a lot of dead space in that area where like you could fit probably another X number of tables.
Yeah, you could just bring the upstairs, downstairs, maybe even adding more than
Yeah, that's what Big Scott was telling me. He's like, they're not utilizing the space at the convention center properly. If they utilized it a little bit better, you could buffer out more of the people in the room.
Back in the day, they didn't rent the whole convention center. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Now they have to. So now that you do own the whole convention center for that week, there's no reason not to use it. You know?
I was watching Sports Card Nonsense, and a wild Big Scott appeared.
Yep.
It's like Sasquatch.
Yep.
I was like the Brad Pitt, or I'm sorry, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like, it's Big Scott.
Hey, Dave, you need to take that compliment or that comment right there with you need to be smiling about that.
The other idea I have for the National, all the badge passes need to be mailed out ahead of time.
I thought they were. I always assumed they were.
You know, they do it for like Comic-Con, the way I understand it. They do, you know.
Most big conventions, they do that for.
Yeah, there's no reason it cannot be done. They're sold out months in advance typically. There is no reason not to just mail it out. And then the baggie you can pick that up at any time during the week.
Right. You just like here, like you walk
you already
up,
have a
your
general
badge.
admission problem. This way we can spread them people out. And the VIPs doesn't ever have, and that way you actually kind of feel like a VIP, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there's no reason they can't mail it out.
Because they don't know their hole from an ass in the ground.
You know, for the shipping and mail them out.
Steve, how many WNBA blasters do you have left? A Prism.
Blasters. So
Yeah.
remember, I've been opening hangers.
Yes.
So hangers I only have 4, but I have a sealed case of blasters that is not getting open.
Woo, baby. Guess how much well, I didn't see too many WNBA Prism blasters, but guess how much they were asking for the ones I found?
45.
Oh, Steve, you're way under. Go higher.
I think it's double.
75
Fucking $200
Oh,
for a blaster?
for a fucking blaster.
Ass blasters.
Well, shit.
so what did I say?
200.
90. It was probably
That's
probably
$4
brass.
grand. That's $4 grand I got in my closet.
Yeah, 200. And then I saw one other dealer want 175, and then I saw one dealer have a couple of the hangers he wanted 150.
Which is, but I could see that because your odds in hangers to get rookies and color are better than in a blaster. So you get the same number of cards in a hanger as you do in a blaster for cheaper price, and you get more color. So
I mean, it's just
Way to go, Ed. We're losing viewers now.
it's only a brief conversation.
yeah.
It's only but
It's only a
but
passing footnote.
the
Talk
big
about the
drive,
dildo, Ed.
The big drive, though, for blasters is the fact that you can still pull Caitlin Clark autos. That's the reason why. And that is the only reason that I wanted a sealed case. I don't give two flying fucks if I sell it down the road and they don't get jack squat. I don't care. That is the exact reason why I bought it. And I'll probably buy again this year because of what's her face? Bukers.
Paige Beckers.
Yeah, whatever. So, like, I think she's going to be she's not going to be as hot as Caitlin, but she's still going to be up there.
Oh,
She's
for
got to
sure.
compete in the March Madness.
So, but that, like, personally, I think there's money to be had there. And again, like, if I knew there was not opportunities for autos, I wouldn't have done it. But the minute I found out that there was a potential and I actually saw one pulled from a blaster, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm buying a sealed case and I'm sitting on it. It's in my closet. And if anybody doesn't believe me, I'll show it to you.
Did anyone go to Brad or Mark? Did you go to a trade night? Any of these trade nights?
No.
Just the Saturday night.
Was that the vintage one?
To that, yes. So I will explain that. So I will because the National did not tell anyone that they needed wristbands for trade night. Okay? Not even the people sponsoring the trade nights. So when Four Collectors team gets there on Wednesday or Thursday, they hear about this and they're like, what the hell? We don't even have any bracelets to give to people. So Theo, to his credit, found the right people and got like 200 of them. And the Four Collectors guys, again, they worked really hard to try to give it to people they knew in the community. Because if you didn't have a wristband, you weren't getting into trade night. Like, there was a line hours for you to get.
Okay. So time out for just a second, Brad.
Yes.
So this was allowed by the National. So it was sanctioned by the National.
Correct.
Great, fantastic. Okay. How in the fuck can you have a event that is sanctioned by the National and not bother to have something in place prior to?
Yeah. Fair.
But then again, that doesn't surprise me because, the whole freaking YouTube hangout, even though it's not a card show, it's not a trade night, that got fucking shut. Like, there's no consistency here.
That too. Yeah. So to their credit, I know they worked really hard because they even asked me, because I was like, hey, I don't want to take a bracelet away from someone who's actually going to be bringing vintage cards and trade. They're like, no, we got 200 of them. We want you guys there. We don't want it to be all the Pelly boys, basically. Because even though it's a vintage trade night, they aren't saving you tables. Even though they put vintage trade night in this area, we can't save the tables. So enough people got there early to be up in that front section if you saw any of the videos. And it ended up being just another hangout just with other people. But, yeah, so it ended up being a really good time. But if you did not have a wristband, you could have waited 2 hours. And they were selling anywhere between $25 and $75 to get
the
in.
Bracelets?
Yes. I witnessed $25. I heard it was up to $75.
So you walk in, you hang out for a bit, like, okay, it was good seeing everybody, I'm leaving, and you walk out and be like, hey, anybody want to buy a bracelet?
I should have done that.
Yeah, how's that process work? I was kind of curious about that myself.
So, there's some people that knew this. So whoever's sponsoring the trade night that night, how it was different companies. And the only one that seemed to know this was Kentucky Basketball Cards, because he announced it weeks in advance. Come to our booth on Thursday morning, and the first 200 people or whatever that come to our booth can get a vintage trade night pass or bracelet. He was the only one that seemed to know this ahead of time. So I found that very interesting because I remember that being announced 2 weeks beforehand. So we were thinking, oh, that's just a him thing, not a whole national thing. And when they get there, they figure out, oh, so I could theoretically not have one vintage person at my vintage trade night if they would have never, figured this out. So, but it was a fantastic time, by the way. I had a good time. I was debating, like, hey, do we want to go? I was like, they took all the time to get these bracelets. I'm trying to go on, But and it was a great time. I had a great time.
That just blows my mind. But then again, considering it's expanded so much as it is, and take it for what it's worth. And Dave, you may want to plug your ears because, I'm actually going to be nice for a second about a certain individual.
Don't talk nice about Mike.
I'm not really talking nice, but it's more of an observation more than anything. Because, and I want to say there was grumblings going into the show that, because there were so many unsanctioned national trade nights that got shut down in hotels, they were going to be paying more attention to that. If I'm being honest, if that was known across multiple people, Mike should have just told people, leave your cards at home. Leave your cards, no cards. Because if that's the case, if there's no cards present, then it's not a unsanctioned trade night.
People didn't really have cards, though.
I didn't see anybody even showing cards.
But the thing is, go back to 23 and just think about some of the sights and sounds in 23. I saw cards all over the place. Yeah. Not because people were trading, but Ed, you bought your shit from Big Smooth at freaking
part of the deal.
So, but you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I understand.
So if you eliminate all cards, then how can the national and the hotel come in and say, hey, this is an unsanctioned trade night. Hey, look around. There's no cards. This is a hangout. We're making your bar thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Do you really want to kick us out?
Right, because they can kick you out just for not being a member of the hotel. Like if you're not staying there.
If you're not a guest, they
technically can kick you out.
The managers all swarmed Baseball Collector when that happened.
But what I find interesting is, again, it looked about the same size as it did in 23. And maybe I'm crazy.
Would have been bigger. But yes.
It would have been bigger, though, because that was early.
I'm sure it would have. Considering. But at the time all of that transpired, it looked about the same size as 23. Dave coming in with a random picture of.
We're in Mojo's video, so that's all that matters.
Oh, okay. So that's what he was showing.
That's great.
And so, and again,
every year.
Yeah.
And I just have a question. And John, maybe you can answer this, just because, and it's fine if you say I don't know. I'm just curious here. Is this shit not prearranged prior to saying, hey, the YouTube Hangout is going to be held here? Is there not conversations taking place with the hotel management? Hey, we want
no.
Why would you not do that?
It's one of those things. It's easy to say now. We just never had a problem before.
Yeah.
But everything, it's gotten too big. When it was 30 people showing up.
Well, no shit. Hey, in the words of Dave, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. So it's.
I mean, come on.
But the thing is now, the reason why it's tricky now is with the no compete thing is people used to literally rent ballrooms and have their own trade night. And that's what they were shutting down even. So even if you paid money,
which I understood because it was a trade night not sanctioned by the national.
But it was one of those, they were not going to compartmentalize the two. hey, we're not going to let you do it since we don't let the Pelly boys do it. It's kind of one of those. We're not going to deal with this either. These 250 people.
I think also what might have happened is I think people might have complained to the hotel staff who were staying there because
there was another event going on.
There was another event that was like in the back going on. It's, as you guys know, it's an atrium and all the rooms are there.
Correct.
And I would say 90% of the people staying at the Embassy Suites were corporate. I saw BGS guys walking around. I saw Fanatics guys walking around. Heritage guys walking around.
So technically, they shouldn't have been bitching.
No, I'm just saying it was that hotel previously didn't have a corporate presence of industry guys. This year there was mostly all industry guys there because it's right across the street. And the BGS guys, Mark can attest to this. They were like, "Hey, what are you doing in front of our door? Why are you here?" And when I got into the elevator to go up, there was Heritage guys in there saying, "What are all these people doing here? Why are all these people here?" So who knows? When they got back to the room, phone call to the desk, "Hey, what are all these people doing here? Why are all these people in the atrium?"
And I get it. And like Scott, I heard the same thing. That, it's like, okay, well, can we just rent a conference room? Or this is not a trade night. This is not what this is. Because technically, by rule, it isn't. It isn't. Gifts get handed out because that's typically where you're going to potentially run into somebody. That's not trading.
Yeah, they just didn't want people in their lobbies and in the rooms. That's all it was. Because each hotel had signs. Like, it wasn't just the Lowe's Hotel. Crown had a little one. No, it didn't have signs everywhere. But
I mean, again, I
definitely think people complain because even when we went outside, and we were in the drop-off area, like they came out again. The hotel staff came out again and said, "Leave the area."
Yeah.
So I think definitely people complained. I think there was also the policy thing. There was a multitude of factors why they were on edge.
So it'll be off-site next year at a big place, would be my guess.
So I'm
look out for that.
Dave, you may hate me for saying this, but I'm just because I think it would be fucking funny. I'm throwing the IRP's name in the hat to help sponsor that event because I just think it would be fucking hilarious. You want to bet?
That's what he's going to say.
You want to bet? I would literally, dude, trust me. I got the money. I promise you, I would do it.
No, I'm not saying you don't have the money.
Do it.
I'm not saying you don't have the money.
I'm just saying. I want it to happen because that would be the fucking greatest thing ever.
I know the guy who sponsored it this year spent $1,000 on pizza, and we got kicked out right as the pizza was being delivered. And this guy told me that they had just ordered 1,000 more when they saw how big it was. And luckily he was able to cancel it. The guy was really cool. It was Rabbit Hole Auctions.
Yeah.
He was like, "Man, this is so fucked." And like,
but the very cool thing about
I felt really bad for that guy.
Is even after all that, everyone got separated. That hangout that everyone eventually just kind of found each other on the grass was still a fucking blast. So it shows you
it was awesome.
What the hell it is.
Yeah.
What the hell
we should have done it there to begin with.
Hell of a time doing it.
No, it looked like you didn't lose a shit ton of people as it is.
It was half.
You could tell.
We lost about half.
Yeah.
You could tell though a lot of people were having a good time, great conversation.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yep.
And hell, Dave even sent me a text. He's like, "Motherfucker, BT, Beijing Thomas was at the fucking National." Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Dave cussing up a storm. Like that never happens.
Yeah, to see that, because that's what I do best. I scrutinize the video, and it's not always the people in the foreground I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Waldos that are just sort of like behind there.
My point right there, exactly. No cards. I'm telling you, like, it's not sanctioned by the National, which means no unsanctioned trade nights. If there is no cards present, they can't call it a trade night. It's a party. It's a get together.
Just a really big party, I think, is part of the problem.
Well, so you kind of revamp it a little bit.
Because I didn't see any cards at all before we got kicked out. Like, I didn't see anyone.
Wasn't.
We were just getting together.
Well, again, but if that's like the early going, like I could see that. But 23. I know Ed made his deal with Big Smooth at the YouTube get together. I saw cards freaking sitting at tables. They were looking at sets. Like, they were there, plain as day.
But they like booted us before that happened.
Get the fuck out.
It was
basically.
I'm not trying to justify it. They were making assumptions without basically having verification and validation. And they took the messaging from the National probably literal.
That and these people were watching social media too, by the way. They
Because-
knew
Really?
Yeah.
Rick mentioned that several times.
Yeah, it wasn't just the Lowe's Hotel that was watching social media. They knew
Really?
stuff was happening.
Because I know if you watch Rick's video from today, and I know he said it prior to this in one of his national videos, something about the manager of the, not maybe the hotel, but the space or the bar or whatever, was like really zeroing in on anything pertaining to the National because of past occurrences and little twat waffles fucking just like littering the space. So you see somebody, okay, it's gonna be just like a social gathering of people just BSing, talking shop, talking life, just talking. And again, Rick said one of the best nights they've done at the bar and restaurant because it's so many people there, but it was all people that were there for that reason, not to fucking open their Pelican cases and shit out of Zion Red Wave Prism rookie or something.
Okay, so there you go. No cards, no live streams. Like, there's
At that
a
point,
way
just do it somewhere else, though.
Yeah, it'll be one of two
True.
things. We either get this sanctioned by the National, which would not surprise me. There's
which
a lot
I
of
think
people
is
on this-
I think is the wise thing to do.
So that could happen, or we're just going to be off-site in a room that costs $5,000 and everyone chips in.
No, there is a beautiful lake by our Airbnb that had like a full playground, fountains, a concert space, tons of picnic grove areas.
I know a better lake.
Have it by the lake, baby, because that
I
shit
know a
was
better
nice.
lake.
Can
I can
we
vouch for that. Tons of parking
record
too.
rants by the lake?
Tons of parking. Like, ask anyone in our Airbnb. That lake was nice. And it's only like a 10 to 15 minute drive from the convention center.
Because there are rooms in that convention center other than the ones they use for trade night. So
Didn't trade
there
night
are
get
other rooms.
canceled?
No,
I heard trade night got.
nothing at the National. Now, it got to where not even people with bracelets could get in at a certain point.
So
Because
just
you got to get
misinformation
there that
based on
first
that.
hour, or otherwise they're going to start letting people in the regular line in. So let's say the trade night starts at 6. You show up at 8 o'clock with a bracelet. They're not just going to automatically walk you up there because they're already at max capacity. So you'll be moved to the front of the line, but you can't just automatically go up there. That's how that works.
So here's a question. So again, and like I'm speaking about 23 because that's my only reference point. I know that, and no, this is not a jab, even though Dave will probably think it is.
Jab's family.
No. If CC2 can have a trade night at the convention center, sanctioned by the National, why can't MBCC have a YouTube get together sanctioned by the National at the convention center? I get it, but here's the thing. What is that? What does that cost? 10 grand?
It
5
would
grand?
not be a problem raising the funds. I guarantee you.
Because it's like, hey guys, we want to do this. We want to make sure it's done right. We don't want, the same situations. Donate $10, $15, $20, whatever it is. And that at least rents the space. What's going on, Jeff? It's good to see you, man.
on?
That at least
One
rents
flip
the
of the
space.
mantle should do it.
But again, that rents the space. If there's 200 people at what, $30, like that's $6 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's not $30, maybe it's $50 at 200 people. That's 10 grand.
Yep. Yeah, money will not be the issue with this.
Or
It's just
find
matter of-
find somebody in the YouTube space that be willing to sponsor the event and fucking write the expense off.
Well, Rabbit
Hey,
Hole's sponsoring it next year already.
Who is?
Rabbit Hole.
Oh,
He's already one of them. He already said he's.
Those trade nights are the Wild Wild West, though. They truly are.
Yeah. That's not our scene. I will tell you that.
Start talking to this management group and start having these discussions right now and be like, what do we need to do to have in print to make sure we have this and there's no sort of fiasco like this year? What do we need from you? Again, going off of, it could change for next year per the national team.
Rules and regulations.
But based on this year, what could we have done better to make sure that our space was still our space from 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Again, do we have to buy some food? Do we have to buy X amount of food, drink from the bar? I mean, we can do that. We put down a down payment, a deposit, whatever, plus like insurance for possible damage. Again, it's not going to happen, but what do you need to make sure that this doesn't occur for both parties again? And go from there. And if they say, well, we can't, okay, we move on. On to bigger and better things. But once again, communication. I've said it before, say it again. Communication. It seems to always hinder something. And
Man, have it at Portillo's, Brad's favorite
hell yeah.
spot. You can do it there. That one Portillo's is definitely big enough in Hardwood Heights.
That would be hilarious.
That'd
Brad's
be
not
pretty
going to be
gangster.
happy about that.
They're open to 1 a.m.
Got to get the Italian beef, Brad.
That's what I keep hearing. If I go and get something else and it's bad, I'm beating all your asses. I'm telling you right now.
Get the Italian beef.
Just while you eat the chicken sandwich. So if you're disappointed, you can fucking punch me there and say fuck you. Kerry Collins couldn't hold Dan Marino's pro line tag.
Just don't spill any of that Italian beef gravy on the mantles. So
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else before I take off? You want to ask me anything else?
Was there anything that I know one card that you wanted, but the price was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else that you might have seen along the way that you're like, ugh? Even with all the stuff that I got, and I'm super happy because again, you fucking made out like a bandit, and to pull all that fucking mid 2000s heat, which you never see. You see maybe one a show. Was there anything you passed on, went back, or you just didn't get that you're like, shit, I wish I would have like tried to make a bigger play for it, minus the one that I know that was about $1,200 too much.
Yeah. The other one was the Platinum Medallion from 98 Ultra.
Okay.
Number to 99. The guy had a $350 price tag. I had Fabian look up Card Ladder for me because there was no sales, obviously, recently.
Mm-hmm.
And it was graded in 8.5, which I didn't care either way. But like PSA 7s did 216 3 years ago. So they had a $350 price tag. But it was the first hour or so of the show. I think I just bought the Zach Thomas.
Okay.
And then found that. And it was like one of those, like, I like it, don't love it. But it was by the time I was like, I think I'm going to go back. Just probably an hour and a half later, it was gone. So that was my one that got away potentially.
So that makes what, 2 years in a row? Last year was the Black Diamond, whatever, to 100.
Yeah, but I did get that.
I know you got it. You
Oh yeah, I almost made you very
wrong.
proud if I'd have got that.
You rectified that terrible wrong.
Yes. But like the ultra medallions just don't wow me. So it's like not a must for me. You know, it's if I get a great price, I'm not going to pay full price, if that makes sense.
No, if that thing was like maybe like 2 1/4, you'd be like,
Right.
ooh,
That's why I had him go look them up for me. And they were in the 2 range and stuff went up 25%. So you add that into it. But so it wasn't bad. It was just, you know.
It was a good deal, but it wasn't. I can't pass.
Yeah, it was fair, but I would rather have other stuff. And fortunately, there was other stuff to choose from for me. So
I wish we would have been able to get that other one too.
yeah, that was the gut punch because it's there, and then it's like, oh, yeah,
and then to see the price tag, it's like,
yeah, you're just like,
it's still going to be here.
we can't even negotiate this. Yes. So I think that's all I got, gentlemen. Always good seeing you.
Get some sleep, recuperate, rest. Eat a Costco hot dog in the morning.
Yeah, that'll make me feel better. A real hot dog. All
I
right,
love
guys.
Costco hot dogs.
Ed's still a liar, but I love all of you.
See you, dude.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one, Brad.
I got a big stack of 68s for my 68 set, and I've been putting them in my binder. I got so many dupes. I don't know what happened with my spreadsheet. I'm so pissed.
I gotta fit it in there. 6 of them. Now I got 7.
This sucks, dude. Oh, and I spent so much money on these. Oh, I'm so pissed.
Those trade nights, though, just to touch again.
This guy's name is Dick Lyons. Sorry.
You see the most asinine things at these trade nights. When I mean it's like unintentional comedy, kind of. Like, did you see Rick's video from the vintage trade night? Well, it was the trade night on Saturday, because half of it was modern and half was vintage. Did you see that?
It was like a 15-minute video or so.
Did you see where they were? I forget who told. Maybe it was Mangini said to Rick, because Rick was filming. Mangini said to him, "Hey, that kid over there with the backwork sack has the Ramblese Johnson."
I did, because I was waiting. He said it once before, and then Rick was walking around.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he's like, "Who has that Johnson? Who has that?" And he's like, "The kid in the backwards hat over there." And I'm like, when he said the price, I'm like, because I thought he said Randy Johnson. I'm like, why the fuck does Rick want a Randy Johnson?
But like, a lot of that happened in Cleveland last year too, with like 52 Topps Manals, 51 Bowman Manals, 52 Jackies. You see some of this stuff at trade night, or like a green Cobb, a red Cobb. I was just like, the guy said the price to Rick. Rick's like, how much do you want for the Johnson? And he says $24,000. I'm like, dude, it's a Saturday night. The banks are closed. Tomorrow, Sunday, the banks are closed. Like, are you expecting someone to have a duffel bag filled with like?
They're just flexing.
Grand?
They're not trying to sell it.
No, they're trying to sell it.
I don't think
they're trying to sell it. I saw it in
I think they're
Cleveland.
trying to sell it at the show, and then they bring it to trade night to like flex. Could be wrong.
Because last year in Cleveland, there was a guy in the trade room, and not a kid, like a Gen Xer, who had a sign, cash only, big sign, all caps, cash only, and he had a 52 Mantle, and he wanted like 50 grand, cash only, baby, cash only, like. the stuff that you see from some, like, I guess you would categorize them as vintage flippers, is just like, it's just like unintentional comedy, I feel like.
If you had 50K in cash that hundreds of people see you pick up, that's not like a safe situation.
And like, if we're selling this card for $24,000, like, how we counting the money? Like, just say theoretically we do have $24,000. Okay, how do I buy that off him? Do I just hand him the duffel bag and like he doesn't have a bill counter? Little fella don't have a bill counter.
Well,
so
it's got to be
is he
in
going to
hundreds.
count? Is he going to count this like in the middle of the show, in the showroom floor?
It's got to be weighed. He's got to have like the scale.
I think it's just got to be in hundreds.
Quarters.
Like, it's supposed to be like, let's be honest. People trade cash for money. People trade cash for cards at these trade nights. Nobody's really trading card for card or cards for a card.
Really?
Like, it's key. I'm stating the obvious. But like,
no, I'm not being sarcastic. I've
Oh.
never been to one. I always assumed that people actually traded cards for cards. That
no,
sucks to hear.
they don't fucking do that. They're trading cash for cards. But like, I feel like the intent of those shows is to like to try to move like mid-end cards or like lower end cards, like stuff like that, like lower transactions. I just find it hilarious when people try to move like $10,000 plus cards at these type of events and they want cash only.
Does it ever actually happen?
I'm not sure. But I think half of these guys need to like step up to the plate and just send the card to an auction house. Just pay your fees.
Right.
Yep. Pay your taxes if you
You
if
just
you wanna
said the F and the T word.
Right.
These people are out.
So, from an observation perspective, though, and I get where you're coming from, though, too. Ed. Like 24K, 50K, like most average people are not carrying that kind of cash.
Hell no.
The problem is you see some of these, YouTube shorts, or you see some of these other videos, and they're asking people how much money they're bringing, and all they hear is these insane amounts of money, and
That's a
they
good
think
point.
that that's like the norm for everybody.
Watching
Well-
too much SCI.
Dude, $24,000, if you really think about it, that's like the typical average salary for most Americans in some part of this country.
That's
Like-
but again, that's my point. How much are you bringing? Oh, 50K. Oh, how much did you spend? Oh, I ended up spending about 100K. Like, that's not normal for
No.
most people. But that's always the issue, is because there's no separation in those conversations. We're having conversations with business people. They're doing this as a business. So yes, as a business, these people may be dropping 50K, 100K, 150K. But for the average collector, most of us probably bring anywhere between 1,000 and, let's say, $5,000. And that could be even a stretch, because I know there are others that bring more.
I brought less.
But
I've
on
never got 1,000.
But on average, I would venture to say most collectors at the National are probably in that 1 to 5 range. If you ask them all, like if you sat them in a room, how much money did you bring for cards? I'm willing to bet that that's where most of it's going to fall within range. But that's the other issue with the hobby is all these people think that all of us are in this for the money. Well, that's not the case. So therefore, most of us are not going to be carrying around $24,000 in cash. I sure the fuck wouldn't.
There was just so much. I mean, the National is kind of a mirror to the hobby a little bit. Like, it's not the end all be all, but it is a reflection of the hobby. And there's just so much selling that was going on. When I say selling, I don't mean dealers. I mean people walking around. And dealers buying, but also people buying at these trade nights. But it's just like, man, I'm like, do a lot of these guys collect? They're like selling. They're everything they get, they're selling. They don't even have the card for 10 minutes and they're selling. And I would say it was predominantly modern, but a shit ton of vintage flipping. Big time vintage flipping. Like there's more quantity of modern flipping because you see these guys maybe flip 20, 30 cards, but a vintage guy, they just got to flip like 1 or 2 cards. You know what I mean? And it's just like some of these cards that are being that are trying to be sold. It's just like we're talking like five-figure cards, some maybe even a 6-figure cards. And it's just like, what are you doing trying to sell it at a trade night to get cash free? Like, don't be cheap. Just send it to an auction house.
So the question though then becomes,
you don't need every little penny.
If there's that much flipping though, how much of that flipping is actually is kind of like a necessary evil to liquidate certain things in order to increase the amount of money you have in order to buy stuff for your collection, let's say? Is that going to be a lower percentage, or do you think it's just all these people in it for the money?
It's hard to say. It's honestly hard to say.
And again, it's just more from a curiosity perspective based on what you've seen and what you've experienced and paid attention to. Now, I know you're not walking up and being like, hey, dude, yeah, I just saw you trade X, and I know you just got paid X. Like, are you reinvesting that into the business aspect, or are you actually trying to move shit in order to add other stuff that you want for your collection? It would be interesting to see what the percentage numbers would look like, though.
Like, I feel like a lot of people that came in during the pandemic that were like heavy into ultra modern basketball, ultra modern football, maybe like sealed wax. I think a lot of those types, not the majority, but I think a good amount of them people have transitioned into the vintage area now, because the amount of vintage I seen being sold at this show was from people walking up to dealers, selling to dealers, but also at these trade nights was just like, holy shit, like, whoo, whoo, whoo. It's just a lot. It is a lot, and it's interesting. I think that's definitely the hot thing now for the money.
Yeah, I feel like vintage is less volatile on the low end. A lot of that stuff only typically increases by, little increments here and there. It doesn't seem like you lose money on it.
I think the more interesting part would be to find out how these cards were acquired.
For sure.
Like, because again, when you see like a group of like maybe like 16 or 17-year-olds pull out a 52 tops mantle and like a 3 or a 4 out of their case, or like one pull out like 551 Bowman mantles, like, okay, that kind of catches my attention a little bit. What do we like? How, I wonder how these cards were acquired, and they want the toppest of the top dollar. A lot of these guys, there's no deal cutting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, well, if you want to venture into that, send that shit to an auction house.
They don't want Uncle Sam getting any of it.
No, I think that's a real problem with the hobby.
Well, and there would be a lot of those people would have a lot of red flags at tax time.
Like, we all hate paying taxes. I mean,
correct.
We all hate it. But like, if you're trying to sell like a 5 to potentially 6-figure dollar card, I mean, you're going to have to pay taxes on it.
But it's going to raise red flags if a 17-year-old has a tax form for selling a 52 Mantle for $150,000, and his job is paper boy.
Yeah,
Right.
No, that's a good point. You're bringing up a good point, Michael.
Well, and the fact of the amount of money that potentially they would be depositing or investing.
Right.
Like, you can't tell me that freaking the IRS, I understand they've been short staffed, but again, at some point it's going to catch up to these people.
Yeah, because let's say
to.
even the kid with the backwards hat sells to Johnson for, let's just say he sells it for 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing with that? Like, is he putting it in his mattress or something, or is he putting it in the floorboards at his house? Like, because if you put it in the bank, they're going to be like, okay, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Well,
that goes into what Michael's saying.
Well, that's not safe and smart if you're putting it in the floorboard and a mattress. Just saying.
So if the people we're talking about, let's just say hypothetically you get started flipping cards and blah blah blah. Long story short, you end up with a 5-figure card after years of flipping cards and selling cards, whatever. And then you sell a card for $62,000. Now you have $62,000 cash. That's a problem because you can't just deposit that in your bank, right? Especially these younger kids. So they have to perpetually like reinvest it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like cashing out if that happens. Or you have to eat the taxes and open yourself up for
an audit.
You're going to get audited.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting at was.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Those are the red flags.
I think there's a lot of card people that are in a weird spot where they have a ton of money and they like can't get it out of the card ecosystem. Yeah. What are they going to do with it?
Yeah, these are like the interesting things I sometimes think about, like when you visit these trade nights, because like I said, a lot of these trade nights, you just see stuff that is just like it's mind blowing, I guess, for lack of a better word, where you just see some of this chaos.
No, or if they had somebody that was like a business manager, hey, invest in property, do something. Where again, if you're going to giving helpful advice once again for free, go to a real estate place and be like, well, I'm looking to buy this. And I've got a down payment of X thousands of dollars. They're not going to be like, well, how'd you get that? You can.
They might actually.
Yeah, they will. A lot of those places will not touch cash. It's got to be bank transfers.
If you're dropping down hundreds, they're not gonna. They don't care. Come on
now. I'll tell you this. My buddy bought a house and he put down his down payment and he met with a banker and he had recently had a bachelor party. And my friend
Ferguson?
Yes, actually. So he sent my friend a check to pay him back for his share of the hotel. And that was the time that he was going through with buying a house. And he met with his banker, and the banker they like pour through your financial records when you're doing this. And he slid across a big blown up copy of a check. And he said, can you please explain this?
Damn it, he froze on me.
I froze?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just me. You just went spinny. Sometimes it goes spinny.
He's talking to the banker, and the banker, completely straight face, he said, can you explain this check to me? And it's a big blown up copy of a check. And he slides it across. And my friend gave my buddy this check, and he drew penises all around the border of the check. And he was like, double dose of dick in the memo line and all this shit. And like the banker did not think this was funny, and it had been flagged. And it was like a $75 check. And he was like, "Can you explain this to me?" They like really pour through your financial records when you do this stuff.
Was he at the WNBA game on Friday?
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that.
I know just at the minimum, because this is something that just happened recently. Somebody was trying to take out a VA loan to buy a home. Just to get things started, you had to have 3 years worth of pay stubs, and you had to have 3 years worth of W-2s. They go back, and that was just at a minimum. They pour through everything to figure out where you get your money and how you're going to afford this loan going forward.
I think also the underwriter of the loan is like liable if it's like criminal activity.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And like they approved this shady loan basically. Like a lot of it is making sure that you can pay the loan back.
Yep.
But all these loans usually just get bundled up and sold off anyway. But like it will come back to them if they took like fraudulent money basically.
Yeah. Hence why we see money laundering in all the movies and shows we like.
And in the sports card hobby, that's another conversation. How much of this is money laundering?
Yeah, this is just the modern day way of art collecting.
So you're a drug dealer, right? So we're looking at this from the nefarious perspective of people making money on cards. What if somebody's involved in illegal activity that brings in a ton of cash and they need to like whitewash it? Mm-hmm. They start a card business. Mm-hmm. and they pay taxes on it. Yep. And now it's clean.
Yep.
Like who's to say your 52 Topps mantle, who's to say you didn't get that from your grandpa when he passed away? And you didn't know anything about cards. You got a binder of cards. Who's to say that's not where you got it? Who can prove otherwise? Who says you bought it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's happening a lot. And that explains some of the more outrageous prices because they want to pay a lot for the cards.
Correct.
It's interesting stuff. I didn't know we were going to talk about money laundering tonight.
Well, when you take a look at some of the prices of these vintage cards, makes you do a double take.
What did he say about Josh Rosen? Well, I didn't suspect you before, but now I do.
The red flags have been raised.
Yeah. All those tens of dollars.
That's the thing, though. They go after the small people.
The poors.
Yeah. They go after the poors. Exactly.
Yep.
Get the poors.
Yeah, that's why one of the things I was happy to see with the old stuff that was passed where we're back to the 20,200 plus transactions that hit the tax threshold.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. Yeah, because I completely stopped selling on eBay because once they dropped it down to, 2,500, I think that's what the most recent one was. And then this year, 25 was supposed to be 600. I just stopped selling on eBay. I only do friends and family stuff.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson, numbered out of 10.
Nice.
Very nice.
Dave, I did not see any Josh Johnson cards. I was looking.
I was looking too.
I will say.
Am I the only person who's found one at a card show and got it and sent it to Dave?
Probably. I will say I did not see. Actually, I saw one Joey Votto card. 2 whole days.
I did have a dealer say to me, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just perusing." He's like, "No, what are you looking for?" I got everything. I'm like, "Okay, you got Josh Johnson?" He's like, "No."
The quarterback?
Dude, where are all the Joey Votto cards? What the hell?
I want to say Nate.
Yeah, Nate had a ton of them at one time.
Nate and I think Ryan had that museum or tier 1. He's got the tier 1 like the jumbo patch like Mr. Red Auto 101, I think. So I saw that in one of his showcases that somebody that I think that Alaska guy perused through, and I'm like, oh, that too had that, because I'm like, that's
disgusting.
bad ones.
By the way, only bad dealer interaction. I told Mark this. Well, actually, Mark was with me when this happened. I only had one bad dealer interaction the entire
So great.
week.
I was dying.
I was going.
So funny.
I was going through a value box, one of the few value boxes. Actually, it wasn't even a value box. It was just a box of cards that there were so many cards in the guy's showcase that he just had like overlap of cards these were like cards pending going into the showcase when space would open up. So anyway, there was a guy next to me trying to buy a slab that was in one of these boxes. I think the slab was like $50 and he offered 40. And the guy looked at the card, and he said, no, chief, I can only 50 firm. So I heard that, and I'm like, I haven't heard that all show. Most dealers will like make a counter or say 45 or take the offer. I haven't heard a dealer decline or not make a counter offer yet. Anyway, that kid walks away, and I'm looking through the box, and I found a Quinyon Mitchell rookie. Forget what product, one of those Panini products, but it was numbered out of 99. Pretty cool looking card. He had it for $20. So I'm looking over the card. I only looked at the front of the card, and I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. It's a Quinyon Mitchell, fantastic player for the Eagles. I hand the card to the guy. I'm like, would you take 15 for this? He looks at the card, looks at me, looks at the card, looks at me, and he's like, no, chief. I can only do 20 firm.
What an asshole.
And I'm like, oh, okay. He hands it back to me. I'm like, well, let me look over the card a little bit better because I probably am going to buy the card because I don't see much Quinyon Mitchell, and it is a rookie number down 99. So I turned the back over, and my eyes immediately go to the center of the card. It looked like there was a divot in the card, like an actual dent in the fucking card. So I take it out of the team bag, and I go to take it out of Toppler. And meanwhile, he's watching me like this. He's like fucking zoned in on me. And I'm like, Mark, there's a fucking divot in this card. There's a fucking dent in the middle of this card. And I put it back in the penny sleeve. I put it back in the team bag, hand it back to the guy, and I'm like, here you go, bub. Sorry.
Here you go, chief.
Fuck, man, I almost got
that
grifted.
$5 was gonna break him.
I almost got grifted for $15 on a fucking card that had a fucking dent the size of Lake Superior in it.
I will say at the show, I did not interact with a single rude dealer, and on top of that, the vast majority of dealers I talked to were over the top, friendly, nice,
very
reasonable. Buying my 68s, I was pretty frustrated, and I was trying to get out of there, and I had a stack, maybe like 5 at one dealer, 10 at one, 30 at another. Each one was calculating my tab, and I didn't even ask, and they all just gave me a discount. Every single one.
Nice.
Because every year I have a few interactions where I'm like, what a douchebag. Not a single one this year. I don't know if I was just lucky or if it's like a culture change. Maybe like some of the older guys are retiring out of the hobby. It's not just an age thing, but generally the ruder people are the old crotchety guys. For sure.
I found wearing team gear, the dealers are more receptive to you. Back in the day, would be like, "Oh, don't wear the team gear because they're going to jack up the price."
Lose your negotiation power.
Yeah, you're going to lose your strength of negotiation. Now they see you wear the team gear and they're like, "Oh, I got this, and this in the showcase. Oh, I'll work with you, man." Like, they see that you're a collector or a fan of the team or a fan of the player, and they're like, we'll fucking work with you.
Yeah,
like
less
that's
likely to be a flipper.
Yeah, that's what happened when I was wearing my Kate Martin shirt. Like a couple people selling the WNBA stuff's like, listen, we will come off these prices. Like we know you're wearing a shirt, like you seem like a fan. You're not gonna fucking sell the card 3 tables down.
Yeah.
See, neither one of y'all should have mentioned that. So now everybody's gonna freaking claim it to be true, not mention where it came from, and now everybody at next year's national is gonna be doing the same shit.
I don't know.
Come on, guys, you gotta learn. You gotta learn when to actually.
By the way, I wore my Cooper DeJean jersey like twice to the national. That shit was funny because, man, that Eagles jersey really incites some people, like in a good way and in a bad way. Like I had one dealer be like, "Oh, the Eagles fan." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He's just like, "Everything in here is double for you," and I started laughing. He's like, "I'm not joking, buddy." Which I don't know if he was joking, but it was pretty funny. He had mostly shit that I wasn't interested in, but.
And of course, my response would have been, "And fuck you too."
I had a guy wearing.
Probably a Cowboys fan, huh?
Right.
I think he was a Cowboys fan too. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what you should have responded
I also
with.
had I forgot to tell Joey, and I forgot to tell Scotty Traditionist. Also had a Packer fan give me a bunch of shit. They're like, they let you in wearing that rag, and I looked over and I think he was wearing a Rodgers jersey, and I'm like, a Green Bay Rodgers jersey, and I'm like, dude, you're not going to ban the tush push. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm really sorry, but we're going to run that play like 30 times against you when we see you this year. He's like, that's a bullshit play. It's a rugby play. I'm like, let it go, brother. Let it go.
Tell him to go.
Sorry, Michael.
It's the
It
fact that
doesn't
no other
bother
team-
me one bit.
Tell him to go to sensory deprivation chamber retreat.
I'll be
Well,
right
the
back,
issue
dudes.
is no other team has been able to figure out how to do it as good as Philly does.
Then it was funny because
bitching.
I had some dealers like, oh, fucking go birds, go bird. Like it was fun. It was cool. It was a fun experience. I know, like I've worn Eagles stuff there in the past and haven't really had that type of interaction. So I don't know if it's just because they were in the Super Bowl last year, but it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, and then me wearing my TD jersey on Friday when we were there, and some dude tried to fucking sell me an $800 Jerry Judy. Like, really? Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Was his name Joe Burrow?
No, it was not. Not to backtrack, but Michael, you had mentioned the whole changing of the reporting for online sales.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is going to be is it took them so long to actually figure it out to where 24 taxes is the first year that you actually have to report on the $600 limit. So now that it's been changed, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to revert it all back, because the IRS took forever and a day to get all the shit in place and figured out to where they could implement it.
Right. And it never got down to the 600. It was supposed to this was supposed to be the first year of the 600, because it went from the 2,200 and then it dropped down to, I think, 5,000, and then I think it dropped down to 2,500. And then this year was supposed to be the year of 600, and they repealed that in that big, beautiful bill thing and took it back to what it was prior to all of it.
Yeah, but again, it's going to take them years to.
Yeah. By then, I won't have cards.
Give it a couple of years. I would think that you would still have cards in a couple of years.
By the way, there was tons of international people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a strong international presence on the showroom floor. A lot of Australians, people from the UK, our Canadian brothers to the north. some French, a lot of Japanese, Chinese, Korean. Was a lot of different languages on the showroom floor. So I mean, the National is an international. The National is an international destination. I feel like I had to watch. That was a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's tough.
Would you like to try that again, Ed?
Yes.
He nailed it. He corrected it.
Although that one guy I interacted with, which I posted in the chat,
Honda,
the Honda fella, that fucking guy should have got thrown out because it literally he had the stench of death on him, and it was loud, Dave. This wasn't no silent. This wasn't no silent assassin.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, I like a silent just because that'd be a better barometer for like the reaction. Because when you have noise, people are automatically like, "What just happened?" But then if you have something silent and it just like trickles up to the nostrils, people are just like,
This is like when you're in the movie theater watching Top Gun Maverick 2 and Maverick goes supersonic, like that kind of loud. Like that was fucking loud.
He must have been going commando then to get that kind of noise.
Do you know dogs' farts are silent because they don't have butt cheeks?
I do now.
I do now. Always learning.
yes,
Yeah.
but I can tell you, Mark, you can hear my dog.
Yeah, same. I can hear Charlie. It sounds like somebody hit a pressure release valve.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, Charlie. Yeah, I need you to rip ass on cue.
Do you see what
Come
I'm
on,
saying though? You can hear it, but it's just air coming out. But there's no noise because that's from the butt cheek doing this.
The reverberation.
You could hear my boxer. He would rip farts on the linoleum floor. You could hear that.
Oh, there you go.
Some sort of amplifying measure to it. I mean,
Yeah, you need an amplifying measure.
Like I go against the wall as a kid when you're like, hey, listen to this. It sounds like somebody fucking has a bomb on the other side of the wall. But yeah.
Only
Also,
the most important stuff discussed here on the IRP.
It goes without saying. Team Schmedium was out in full fucking force.
Oh, I've seen
Team Schmedium.
That'll be a shirt I wear next year. It's gonna just have #size up. Like fucking holy god! I mean,
Then there was a lot of the white socks.
From when I was a senior in high school too, but I can't.
White Nike socks with the sandals.
Hey, don't.
There was a lot of that going.
Tread lightly, Ed. Tread lightly.
You've entered the deep end of the pool. Those bubbles might not be somebody farting. That's happening.
I don't see you wearing white Nike socks and sandals while attending the National either, though, Dave.
No, I wear my Keen and my socks because that's the most comfortable thing a fat person like me can wear. Because everything else that I step on just like squishes like I'm squishing on a bug. So at least that it's a little.
But that's the point. It's we're talking about what is being worn at the National.
There definitely was the human stink line. Definitely was there as well.
I saw him in this video I'm watching now.
The human stink line.
Who's the human stink line? Can you say it?
No.
Yeah, we can. Roth cards. Roth cards.
Roth cards. He's got like the man bun, like the scraggly hair. If you were to let it out of his own
not as many man buns there this year.
We're not talking about B Roth, right?
A lot of people are bald.
No, not Brian. Absolutely not.
Okay. No. Just making sure.
No.
Jojo Shabadoo was in full force. They were out.
Brian's good people, so we wouldn't dare
Brian's my
talk
boy.
shit about him. So no, Roth cards is the human stink line.
No, I'm talking about there was actually people there that smelled bad.
We are aware, and that's a given every year.
I only ran across one person that smelled bad the whole show.
Well, I guess you were probably the under.
Oh,
Yeah.
they also converted the women's rooms into men's rooms. They just they just went over the sign. They just put a men over the sign.
It makes sense.
Big Scott told me he went into one of the men's rooms. Like, there's no stalls. He's just like, I thought.
Wait, I thought you were joking. They actually did that?
Yeah, he's like, I thought I went into the women's room and I ran out, and here I go back, and no, they put a sign over it that said men's.
Oh my god!
Somebody in one of these
We've
videos
joked
too,
about that for years, though.
going past the bathroom, you can see, okay, the one guy goes in the men's room, another guy goes in the one on the other side. It's got men on it, but he goes in there, and you can see the confused look on his face. He's like, comes back out, looks, it's like men. He's like, okay, yeah, that's a different can of worms there.
Well, because we all bitched in 23 about not enough restrooms. Like the lines for the restroom were freaking ridiculous.
It's so gross in there too. It's like fucking somebody's feet all over the floor. It's like, hey, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the photo that Tyler shared?
I thought that was great.
In his stories? Oh yeah, I screenshotted that.
I missed that one.
I did not use any of the restrooms, but I heard a lot of them were like a bomb hit it.
Can you describe
a
or show
nuclear
that
bomb
picture,
hit it.
Mike?
I've got it. Let me see if it'll.
Oh my
god! Focus. Yeah, you get the idea. Oh, there you go.
Somebody shit their pants.
Yep, and decided to leave them.
Oh my god!
It's probably a mantle flipper. Someone flipped the mantle and they shit themselves.
That's
They
crazy.
created a mantle for a couple kabooms.
Yeah.
He did a kaboom in his pants.
Right? That's the reason why.
I wonder if that was E Honda.
Who is E Honda?
He was the guy.
Go check the group.
Yeah, go check the group chat. He was a big fella, very sweaty, very smelly, and speaking a language I did not recognize.
And he ripped ass, and it sounded like he
ripped
shit
ass.
himself.
That broke the sound barrier.
I just searched Honda and nothing showed up.
Then he belched in someone's face and laughed in their face.
I just searched Honda in the group chat and nothing showed up.
Oh, Jesus.
It's in there.
Oh, never mind. I searched my private text with you.
Can you imagine belching in
dude,
someone's
that's
face
not the same.
and then laughing in their face?
Yeah, that's a
punchable
one-way-
offense.
Yeah, that's a
That's
one-way
what
ticket to getting your ass freaking knocked out.
You do that to the Cobra and he'll
Did you rip ass
whoop
during the
your ass.
national, or did you escape from E Honda? But there's nothing before that. There's no lead up to it.
keep looking.
It's there.
And don't
Mark.
read it. Don't read it.
I'm not going to read it out loud. I still don't get who E Honda is.
Well,
It's
a
some
Street Fighter.
random. It was some random dude. That's
Yeah,
what
I
he
just-
was getting at. He
yeah.
just used that as a form
Gotcha.
of descriptor.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go to bed.
See ya, dude.
All right,
I'm
Michael,
gonna
have a
end
good
on
one.
that.
Don't
note.
have any nightmares after looking at that picture.
Yeah. I am in the janitorial business. I run a housekeeping crew at a military hospital. So that's not uncommon. Specifically, women. Women are way filthier than men.
They are.
And it's not close.
Weird.
Exactly.
I could back that up in my place.
Yeah.
Where I work at. The women's
So-
room is always way worse.
Yep.
So, Mark, the text actually starts, there were a lot of rude fucks walking around, though. And then he goes in to describe the situation with the E Honda dude. It's there. It's all right there.
There was some rude ass people walking around that place.
I mean, I almost want to read the shit because, like, you think the E Honda guy's going to be watching this shit? Literally?
Yeah.
Come on.
Then there was the potato chip guy. Although I think I told all y'all that story.
No, I don't remember that one, Ed.
There was a guy who he had like Coke bottle glasses, and he must have been about like in his mid-60s. He had not a quarter bag or 50-cent bag of chips, of Lay's potato chips. He had a fucking family-sized bag of Lay's potato chips that you get at the grocery store. He popped those suckers on open and he starts munching back on chips while looking at showcases, getting chip crumbs all over the showcase. And then he was talking about how he owned like 552 Manals. He owned about like 1052 mazes. Apparently, this guy had the greatest collection since Slice Wonder Bread.
Yeah, of course.
And he was getting chip crumbs all over the fucking place.
Yeah, prove it. Prove it. Let's see him, because I'm calling bullshit.
And then his fucking jeans were like hanging, like showing some crack, if you know what I mean.
If you're sitting on that kind of money, but then again, he could be a collector, safe and smart. Come on, Ed. You know this, right?
That's the thing about like the National. There's like a lot of comedy, and I think Mark could appreciate the comedy of the National.
Oh, we enjoy the comedy.
You can laugh up a storm in that fucking place with all the.
If you can't enjoy the absurdity, what are you doing?
Yeah, a lot of absurdity.
We enjoyed it in 23. That is for
sure. Yes, we did.
That's why I always say, I know Carlos would have a fucking awesome time at the National because he would be just like laughing his ass off at some of the dumb shit that happens in that building.
See, the only thing that would have made 23 better is if we would have had Mark longer than what we did.
Yeah, that would have greatly enhanced my National as well.
But you know, the fact that we still were able to make it happen, we still had you for the one night, we still had a fucking blast.
And then of course, this National, for the first time, it did not coincide with the time impossible to get off of work, and my kids were staying at the in-laws, so I had like the whole time free. Of course,
yeah, I know.
Mama Stove came through big.
Yes, she did.
Yes,
I 2 awesome lunches with Mark.
Yes, we did. That's our national tradition, man. Me and Ed grubbing.
And then he showed me the best parking garage in North America.
They kind of let us down in that last day, though.
It was malfunctioning a little bit, but it was still pretty damn cool.
Referring to your guys' stuff about the ride-sharing issues, next year, just cross the street, go to a hotel, and just get it there. It's 95% better.
Well, Rick said something too, like Orlando had mentioned to him, like, "Oh, get your room for next year reserved." And it's like the Nationals bought up how many of those rooms already to sell for probably through them. So that's going to be interesting to see what.
Do you think that's just going to go to like corporate stuff?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not going to like sell it to us plebs.
No, or the common folk are going to be left behind.
Well, speaking of which, and this is, and Mark, we need to make sure that you would potentially be available for an offline chat. And I will go ahead and inform you too, just in case. Joe and I were actually texting, I don't even fucking remember when. Come to find out, where we stayed in 23 was actually almost a 2-hour drive between the convention center and where we were staying at.
Yeah.
He found a different one, would be the same deal, but it's actually an hour and 15 minutes to the convention center. And there's like a Walmart and a Target that are like right in the vicinity.
Yeah.
If we needed some shit.
That's a good deal.
So we need to have that conversation with the folks that have stayed previously. And we may want to look at that place. Not to mention, he said that the resort actually has a lot more shit.
Amenities.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
their game room isn't like a grab, a pincher thing, and
yeah,
then like
no. Let me
There's a
see.
Dave and Buster's that's right next to the convention center.
that's trouble.
What
Yeah.
did
That's dangerous.
We
What?
did that. We did that in 09 in Cleveland. We got very dirty looks for drunken trivia. There's a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling, like answers without really like the proper protocols. So I mean,
By the
that
way,
it could get troublesome because we've grown up a little bit. We should be more mature, but trivia, beer, food,
so
going against common folks.
Joe's exact words. So this one is actually on the Wisconsin side on the Illinois border. He said there's
Not a
more
cow
stores
territory.
and eateries nearby than where we stayed, and Lake Geneva is right there too in the event. that-
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he mentioned that there's a Target and a Walmart that's actually fairly close. But we did a look-see in where we stayed in Sheridan was an hour and 48 minutes. This one is an hour and 19 minutes.
Yeah, it's better.
By the way,
So
we don't need a commitment right now. But for the content, could we possibly, and I joked about it in the chat, but I'm dead serious. Could we potentially, at the vintage trade night next year, could we get Amish Dave setting up with Steve of the IRP for Dave's chili, Dave's selling his chili at the trade night?
Why not?
I want you to put pressure on the National on what their chili policy is when you sell this stuff.
I got a great thing to send you guys. I'll send it in the chat.
I gotta get a hot plate though that's big enough to hold that container.
Well, we need a big vat because we're going
Well,
to sell it all.
just
We're
make
gonna-
sure you remember to bring it though.
You're going to sell it all. I can guarantee that.
Should we
So
take
the-
this to the after hours? Just throwing that out there.
we can. We are coming up on 2.5 hours if we want to go ahead and wrap it up.
I
Unless
think,
you had anything else the two of you guys wanted to add about this
no,
year's
I think
national.
I ended it on putting the ball in Dave's court for the chili trade night. This is the way to go.
Well, Dave, wrap us up.
Hopefully, more people eat it than at the national 2 years ago.
Well, you
Joe.
made a little much, which of course I get it. Your recipe is only for X amount, and
I mean, it's a small recipe, but I never make a small batch because I mean that's like 6 bowls. So I mean,
well, that would have been much better in that situation. But again, like it's not like you were thinking that we would not eat a whole lot because we ended up eating out all the fucking time.
it's good though. Another good batch. So, thank you all for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed the nonsense that was brought this way tonight by the cornucopia of guests: Brad, Michael, good friend Mark, Ed, talking about the passage of air, like the passage of time. Just keep going. And I don't know what week. I'm guessing in a couple weeks. I think our friends in the dead heart of the country are going to be on. So get a perspective from them and how much wrestling they sold. I'm sure another banner year for the folks out of St. Louis. So be prepared for that. Next week, I don't know. Let's see what else we can. Maybe some other folks from the National can pop on, or we'll see. Maybe these two will come back. Mark won't be a stranger anymore.
I
Good to have
dip in
Mark.
and out.
Ed's always working on a fucking Tuesday. That's the night you gotta work. Tuesday.
Mark got here on a starship.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got good Wi-Fi in this thing.
Yeah. It looks that way. It looks technologically sound.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Not bad.
It was safe and smart. So for Mark, for Ed, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards, wonderful hobby. Digging through the value box and seeing a PSA 9 Zion insert rookie year card for $20, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.